Well, a great debt passed by one generation on to another means that you have saddled our children with a tax burden that we didn't face. We know that before you take care of a senior and their health care needs, pay a soldier on the front line of freedom, for example, in Korea, or try to cure diabetes at the National Institutes of Health, you first have to pay the interest on the debt that the previous generation has accumulated. And a good government will not pass on a greater debt to the coming generation than the one that it received. But unless policies are changed, and especially an accurate picture is built, we could do that. I think most Americans would be surprised that accounting standards that govern any publicly traded company are different than accounting standards that measure how the government takes in and spends money. I think if we had more time and attention by groups like the Institute, we would all embrace a vision that accounting standards for the government should be the same as for any company in America. We know that the government already does several things with the books that would throw any CEO of a publicly traded company in jail. And not only through Sarbanes-Oxley do we need to know what's happening in the big publicly traded companies of America, most importantly, they should know what's happening in their own government. I introduced the Truth in Accounting Act to begin to embrace that vision, that first we all agree that we should unify public and private accounting standards. And so many of the things which would be a surprise to anyone running a business which goes on in the government could be ended. Secondly, to accurately show the American people exactly what the financial position of the government is, not just next year, but over the next 70 years. Because with so many retirement and other programs, we can project some of our deficits out that far. And lastly, to begin the discussion in the Congress of unifying accounting in an independent authority, much the way our grandparents did when we took the power to control the currency away from politicians and gave it to the Fed. I think candidates for the presidency are reluctant to talk about some of these issues. Number one, because they involve pain. Because all Americans know that the government is running a deficit, but they want the other guy to help pay for it. I will say, though, that in the coming campaign, I think we're going to hear more about long-term solutions. I'm a backer of John McCain, and he regularly talks what he calls straight talk and mentions this topic. Whoever wins the presidency will face an America in which large numbers of baby boomers are now retiring. The financial picture of the United States radically changes at that point. And in their first year in office, they will have to deal with this problem. Congress and the Congressional Budget Office that advises it generally looks at the cash flow position of the United States government. So, for example, we'll see how much tax revenue came in this year, and we'll see how many Medicare beneficiaries there are, and estimate how much in costs they will consume as part of that entitlement program. That is a snapshot of the financial picture. But any publicly traded company in America would also look at what the following year and the following year looks like. Under our accounting rules, used in formal and strict procedures set into law, we only look 5 and 10 years out. And yet we make promises that are sometimes 50 and 60 years out. The American people should know all of the promises made, the best estimate for how much they cost, and then to see them regularly updated in a way that no one disagrees, because the accounting rules have all been agreed on. And in my view, the accounting rules should be as much like private sector rules as possible.